gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face.
What the hell is going on down there?
Bass in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negro. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with this channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense, because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I also have another YouTube channel called Latina Diaspora, where I discuss issues regarding Latinos residing in the United States. The link to that channel is in the description. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, the subscriber mode has been enabled. Meaning, if you are not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who've already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined, I really appreciate your love and continued support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, particularly Instagram and TikTok. I really appreciate your support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So as you can see by the thumbnail, the topic for tonight be avoiding toxic people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define what that is, and I'm going to talk about how we can avoid toxic people. And I'm not just referring to people that we meet here on this platform, but outside as well. Now, before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. And I see that my friend Giorgio is in the chat. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for stopping by. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by talking about a recent video, which was posted today by Lady Creole Motherlord. Okay. For those of you who are not familiar about her, she is a young lady. She's a Latina. She's also Creole, residing in New Orleans, Louisiana. And she talks a great deal regarding pride in the Creole culture, and not only pride, but also provides a great deal of education. So she was sharing today why she does not observe Mardi Gras. Okay. Because in her estimation, it's a very secular, very carnal, very, how can I say it, emo activity. Now, in all fairness, I have never celebrated Mardi Gras. I have heard a little bit about it. I've seen some of the crazy stuff that goes on. There is, unfortunately, some. Um, okay, I won't give too many details, but what I will say is, okay, what I will say is that she gave her thoughts. Um, I would suggest that if you have not checked, please do so. Okay. And of course, she also identifies herself as a Christian as well. I think it's very refreshing to see someone not only as young as Lady Creole Monologue, as a talented content creator, but a talented content creator who loves the Lord. I think that for me, that's a double bonus. Uh, I have hope perhaps one day she will, um, come to this platform and share her views. I understand everyone leads a very busy life, and she has experienced some grief from other people regarding the expression of her beliefs as far as being Creole, things of that nature. So I understand why some people are reluctant to appear on the panel. But um, the same reason why she does not observe Mardi Gras is the same reason why she does not observe Halloween. Now, of course, um, this occurs before. Yeah, that's okay. Well, I didn't want to. Okay, I was trying not to share too much as per your request. But the problem with Mardi Gras is that it does have a lot of vices as far as gluttony and people consuming large amounts of alcohol, and plus, how can I say this and keep it G-rated? But carnal activity, if you catch my drift. Okay. But I don't know a great deal about Lady Creole Marmalade. For what I see, I mean, she's definitely one of the more positive content creators um, out there. Okay. And to be perfectly honest, we do need more content creators like her out here in these YouTube streets. So, and of course, we all understand, we all, lead very active lives, and it can be very time consuming to create content on a regular basis. And I believe she's a mother as well, so she needs to dedicate time to her children and her spouse. So I get it. You can only devote but so much time um, when you're a content creator. And of course, we are approaching the season of Lent. Okay, and for many, okay, this is um, many people have like a superficial knowledge regarding Lent, and other people. This is how I observe Lent. I don't look at it as things to give up. I look at it as a time of self reflection, self renewal, and how can I improve my relationship with God. In fact, my next stream, which will be on Tuesday, I will be discussing what is Lent. Okay, so what I'm going to share is why Lent exists. It's a time of reflection. It's a time, it should be once you're getting closer to God. It's also a time to, to take an honest look at where you stand and how you can improve your relationship with God. Now, I one thing I'll never, for the life of me, understand is how are you going to prepare for the season on Lent by engaging in gluttony, drinking excessive amounts of alcohol, and engaging in sexual activity. I fail to understand the reason behind that. Okay. Maybe I'll never understand that. And if it is, so be it. But one of the problems that people have, well, I see when people have learned, if they look at it, is that for 40 days, they're going to give up a bad habit. And as soon as Lent is over, they're going to go back to the same bad habit. Okay. And I see here we have another comment. Yeah, I don't look. I prefer not to observe. Okay, a Mardi Gras. Now I'm not going to pass judgment on those that do. Okay, but one thing, and this is a point that Lady Creole monologue made, which I think is a valid point. If you state that you are a Christian, your life should reflect that. And I see here's another comment. Okay, okay, interesting. But this is okay. But getting back, okay, I, for the life of me, can never understand the whole purpose of engaging in gluttony, overconsumption of alcohol, sexualized activity, just to prepare yourself for Lent. I mean, it's kind of like going from one extreme to another extreme. I don't do that. I won't do that. I would rather just continue how I observe Lent as a time of reflection, as a time of renewal. It's a time where what I can improve my relationship with God, where I can go closer to God, and to me, that is a more appropriate um, way to observe Lent. Um, Also, there's certain disciplines that are involved. Okay. So I will be sharing all that information on Tuesday. Okay. Being that Wednesday is the beginning of Lent. And what's going to happen is you're going to see a whole bunch of people with ashes on their forehead. Um, and a lot of them are not going to understand the meaning behind it. Okay. The meaning behind that, it's an outward sign, okay, of what you hope to be doing, which is a time of repentance, a time of renewal. Okay. Now back in Old Testament times, um, if you wanted to show that you were repenting, what you would do, you would wear ashes and sackcloth to show your sorrow for offending God. And we have we have the story of Nineveh, where Jonah went there and he preached that in 40 days the city of Nineveh would be destroyed. Well, that led um, all the people from the king on downward to all his subjects to put on ashes and sackcloth and repent and seek the Lord's mercy. And God spared the city. So what is the season of Lent is for? It's a reminder of God's mercy. However, God's mercy is on those who seek Him with a sincere and repentant heart, and that is the true meaning behind Lent. So I will be sharing my insights regarding that on Tuesday. So with that being said, we're going to get into the main topic. Now, before I continue, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Sure. Let's see. Did I pin the link? I don't think so. Let me just take care of that right now. Okay. I thought I did. Just give me a moment. Okay. So let me just, excuse me. So let me just state for the record, I'm going to pin the link. Of course, those of you who wish to hit that link and opine are able to do so. Okay. Now, as always, let me make this perfectly clear. If I never seen you before, if I never heard from you before, I will insist that you come up in the backstage, then make sure that no one flashes anything inappropriate down the string. Okay. Now, let me just before, okay, I see my Wi-Fi is acting up. Okay. Let me just define what is toxic behavior. Because here on this channel, I like to give definitions. Okay. Toxic behavior is harmful and manipulative. It can involve actions like bullying, name calling, gaslighting, and dishonesty. Toxic behavior can occur in relationships, the workplace, and in other settings. So let me just give you some examples of toxic behavior. Gaslighting, to start with. That is the twisting the truth, denying facts, or blaming others to make someone doubt their reality. That is the actual textbook definition of gaslighting. Now, manipulation is the using deception, guilt tripping, or mind games to exploit others. Blaming is shifting blame onto others. In other words, refusing to take accountability for your actions. And we see that quite a bit, not just here on the social media platforms, but in our own lives as well. Defensiveness, being defensive or unwilling to admit fault. Again, the lack of accountability regarding one's action. With some people, it's very strong. Also, stonewalling, withdrawing or shutting others out. Now, there are some effects of toxic behavior. And what are they? Eroding trust, creating power imbalances, undermining autonomy and well-being, creating environments of stress, discomfort, and emotional turmoil. So these are the effects of toxic behavior. Now, there are ways to deal with toxic behavior. Okay. Number one, set clear and firm boundaries. Okay. I think that's self-explanatory, but what that means is, you have to make it perfectly clear. There's certain things you will not allow. There's certain things you will not permit occur in your life, whether it be in words, thoughts, or actions. You need to be consistent in enforcing boundaries, and that's something that's very important. People who are toxic are going to try to test your boundaries, okay? And if you're not willing to be consistent regarding enforcement of your boundaries, basically you're extending an invitation for people to be toxic and just continue with their toxic behavior. So it's very important that you be consistent in enforcing boundaries. You must stay calm and composed when discussing boundaries. Okay. What people who are toxic, who exhibit toxic behavior, love to do is they try to create doubt. They try to create division. They try to create a level of uncertainty. That's what toxic people love to do. Uh, Another thing, get mental health support if needed. And that could be done either through a friend or family member, or if you need like a mental health person, a therapist or a psychologist. Another thing you need to do is learn the underlying reasons for toxic behavior. There are many reasons behind that. And what I would do is during the course of the stream, I will share that with you. The next thing you need to do is when you are being toxic yourself, apologize to the people that you hurt. In other words, taking accountability for your actions. Okay. And it's not easy in the beginning, but once you start to do that, it doesn't become as difficult. And all it means is like admitting what you did was inappropriate, what you meant that your words or your actions caused negative consequences on other people. So that's what means. When you apologize for for being toxic, you are taking accountability for your actions. Also practice lax toxic behaviors. Okay. In other words, trying to find ways to act and conduct yourself that's not toxic. Okay. Now I see here we have a guest. So let me just state for the record that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the show. Any attempt to copy material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your right to your image. Some of the views people will share may be offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And now we're going to bring in our guest. Good evening.
Hey, Jose. Good evening to you. But yeah, carry
So how are
on.
you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing very well. I had
So
dinner about like a few hours ago, and I will not
yeah.
be having any until 7, 8-ish tomorrow morning.
Oh yes, that's right. You did share regarding what you do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now before I continue, I did see the video that Lady Creole Mama Lord uploaded today regarding why she does not observe Mardi Gras.
Yeah. And just for those who are already may be viewing, though, it's just we're just not going to really get a whole lot into, you know, what she was talking about in the video, though, just so we don't really have to spoil it for others. Because I do want to
Yeah.
be mindful about that, though. But yeah, we do know about that holiday and how, yeah, a lot of people are just going to, feel a need to just splurge themselves to death before the 40-day fasting period.
Yeah. But one thing that I am pleased about is not only is she's a very talented young content creator, but a fellow believer as well.
Yes, yeah, that part I already knew when I started like following her a couple years ago. I always recognized that about her, and I do appreciate that though. But I also admire her title as well, where she says that, hey, she has Christ over culture. Because, yeah, I'm kind of glad that she brought that up. Because what I can just quickly say is that I do prioritize the Lord over whatever culture that may have been a part of my upbringings or whatever is within my racial or ethnic DNA.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I
So,
always said, though, is that around here, if I were to come across a Mexican woman or Central American woman who I happen to be equally yoked with, I would take her over any woman who calls herself a mulatto or Creole or MGM or Goldie if she is just not really that rooted in the Lord.
Yes,
So, first come, first served. So, we shall see.
I agree. I agree. But you know what I did is I gave the definition of what is being toxic, and I also
Yeah.
gave cited some examples of toxic behavior.
Oh, and I have my oh yeah, yeah. Getting back to the topic, I even have my book right here too that I was
Okay.
telling you about, though, which is what the Bible says about dealing with difficult people.
Hmm.
And would you like for me to, I guess, read a really quick chapter?
Sure, please.
Yep, it's chapter 12, and it's called "Don't Be Bullied," which, as we already
Go
know,
ahead.
bullying ties a lot into somebody's toxic behavior. Okay, so the chapter starts up from hold on. Sorry, excuse me. So the chapter starts off with a Bible verse from 2 Timothy 1st, verse 7. And so that Bible verse says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fearfulness, but one of power, love, and sound judgment." So the chapter reads, "When you encounter a bully, as you will from time to time, you'll have two choices. One that is easy. You can cow down into their submission, and the one that is significantly harder, you can stand up for yourself and for the things you believe in. If you consistently
Hmm.
choose the former, you'll be constantly victimized by tough-minded tormentors. But if you make the better choice and learn to stand up for yourself early and often, you'll avoid needless headaches and heartaches. Bullies typically use intimidation tactics to get what they want. These tactics include, but are not limited to, coercion, pressure, harassment, hectoring, unrelenting sell pitches. These difficult to be around people don't mind treading on other people's feelings, putting others down, or monopolizing other people's times. If their initial royal requests aren't met with immediate acquiescence, bullies don't hesitate to use strong words or strong actions to get their way. They may resort to temper tantrums, verbal abuse, or even physical intimidation. Standing up to a bully requires courage. And if you're a believer in the risen Christ and you already have every reason to live courageously, after all, Jesus has overcome the world and all that he has promised to make a place for you in heaven. So, almost done with the chapter. So you have nothing to fear in the long run because God has promised to care for you throughout eternity. But what about those run-of-the-mill concerns that result in stressful days and sleepless nights? Oftentimes, those worries are a handiwork of bullies. In such cases, it takes courage to free yourself from the negativity and mistreatment. When you form a one-on-one relationship with your creator, you can be comforted by the fact that wherever you find yourself, wherever you're at the top of the mountain or the depths of the valley, God is there with you because your creator cares for you and protects you. You can rise above your fears, you can listen to your conscience, and you can summon the courage to do the right thing. At the very moment the Lord is seeking to work with you and through you, he is asking you to live abundantly and courageously and ready to help you. Your task, simply put, is to draw upon his strength and stand up to your bullies before it's too late. There you go.
Okay. First of all, I just want to acknowledge that April Showers is in the chat. Good evening, April Showers. Thank you very much for stopping
Hey,
by.
good evening, April. I've seen you around.
And
Hey,
yeah,
Dawn.
and yeah, and just for those who are just joining in, what we're discussing is avoiding toxic people. Now, being that we're both Christians, we're going to approach it in a Christian concept. However, avoiding toxic people, it's something we all need to do, regardless of what is your religious affiliation, because we all have to deal with toxic people from time to time. Good evening, Don Amanda.
When it comes to maybe toxic people or also bullies, though, what do? We also pray for them. as in
Yes, we
Jesus
do.
said like on Sermon on the Mount, pray for those who persecute you and pray for those who, hey, mistreat you. But does it mean to put up with their abuse and their injustice? Absolutely not. Because as the book just said, though, stand up to them if needed, though, because there does come a time for self-defense. So there's nothing wrong with just exposing them, though, or exposing the darkness that a bully likes to push. Because after all, Jose, it does say in Ephesians 5:11 to don't have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, right? But be a beacon of light to it. So
That is
there
very
you go.
true.
And
That
this
is very
book,
true.
the book I was reading, though, it's right, though, using intimidation tactics, throwing a hissy fit, also lacking impulse control, too. And that actually brings us into the next chapter of beware of people who lack impulse control. This world will be much happier, the place where more thought of, this world would be a much happier place if more people thought before they spoke and looked before they leaped. But many people you meet are simply not constructed that way. They seem determined to leap first and look second, if all. The Bible calls us to be thoughtful, moderate, and mature. God's words instruct us to be disciplined in our thoughts and our actions. The Bible warns against the dangers of hasty actions and impulsive behaviors. And as believers in the just Creator who means what he says, we should act and react accordingly, but sometimes we don't. Prisons are overflowing with people who wish that they could go back in time and erase their impulsive behaviors. They can't. Hasty words and deeds may have tragic consequences that cannot be erased. If you're constantly trying to cope with or constantly making amends for the mistakes and misdeeds of a very impulsive person, you already know how difficult it can be to deal with the consequences of undisciplined decision making. But if you've tried your best but still can't seem to make your impulsive companion behave, you're probably wise to seek companionship elsewhere.
Yes.
What's going on, Irby?
Yes, good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. And again, the topic for tonight is avoiding toxic people. Okay. And unfortunately, there's going to be times that we will deal with toxic people. So we have two choices. One, to calm down, is to confront him, but confront him with knowledge, with assurance of who you are, and making sure that you set clear boundaries.
Setting clear boundaries also means correction, if you know what I mean.
Yes, it does.
Correcting and not enabling wrongful behaviors too. Or if a person expect that means you got to just let them go.
Yeah.
What's up?
Now, there are some toxic traits, and I see here we have another guest. Good evening, Donovan.
Hey, what's good?
So how are you doing tonight?
I'm actually doing great. Especially you being called a beard by somebody that doesn't have a beard.
Well, we would not have discussions regarding that.
No, we don't promote bozos around these parts. But other than that, how you and Giorgio are doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
I'm doing very well.
Yeah.
Doing very well. Yeah. Crew.
Yep. I mean, it's like, I'm glad that it's March. I mean, for obvious reasons, but I'm glad that it's March.
Same.
So, yeah.
Yes, with the arrival of spring, and also we're entering into the season.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did Mardi Gras happen already, or Mardi Gras didn't happen? Yeah.
It ends on Tuesday, and Let's just say it's an event that I think it's safe for me and Giorgio to say it's not something that we should partake in.
Right. The reason why I say that is because I know that when I was growing up down south originally, they always had Lent was always the day after Mardi Gras, so therefore that's all I remembered it for.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I seen what happened on Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Thanks, but no thanks.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, what I mean, there was Mardi Gras for kids when I was younger, so none of that really went on because it was always adult supervision. But then what goes on in New Orleans? Well, they always try to make it that it's New Orleans, but there's actually other parts of the Gulf Coast also that actually celebrate Mardi Gras, but they just don't really get that much attention. It's just only New Orleans that get attention.
Well, there's Carnival in Brazil, and I think there's Carnival in the Dominican Republic. Guatemala, if I'm wrong, please correct me.
There's only Carnival when it's like in February when it goes to like okay, it's not so much as a religious thing. It's more of like a national pride thing in the Dominican Republic. So therefore, during in February when you see a lot of people having Carnival, usually they'll have Carnival in the 27th when it's like the capital and other places in the Cibao. But in the Cibao, one place called La Vega, they will have Carnival for all week before the 27th of February. So the Carnival and Mardi Gras and stuff like that, it might be similar, but the thing is though, the ones that would have more similarity because it's on the days that it happened will be Brazil and New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tonight we're talking about avoiding toxic behavior. So what I did, I gave some examples of toxic behavior and things to do. I'm going to be sharing some. Now, George is going to be sharing some information regarding a book that he's really come across. And also, I'm
All
going to be
right.
sharing some negative traits that comes from being toxic.
Got you. I mean, I'll listen and just
Yeah,
just soak up the knowledge.
yeah.
I already read a
Well,
couple of chapters already though, and it's a nice little short book.
All right.
Yep. It's something that I actually got last year too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll actually even show it to you guys too. So I'm obviously am not free to show myself. Oops. Here you go.
Oh, okay. Cool.
What the Bible says. So yeah, you guys can see it's here.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
Laying in bed.
Yep.
I see.
Would I be able to get a copy at a Christian bookstore?
Yes, or online, Amazon.
Oh,
But I
yeah. I
got this
think.
at the grocery
Okay.
store.
Cool.
Okay. So let's talk about some negative toxic traits. Okay. One of them is negativity. A person who is negativity may see the world as cold, cruel, and evil. They may frequently complain, ruin the fun, or dampen people's spirits with defeatist comments and actions.
Mm.
Any thoughts?
I mean, I guess I used to be that person, but then after a while, you just snap out of it because you have certain people that 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 life is not going the way that they want to. So over time, when they see that they do not have a lot of wins in their life, they're going to actually have a defeatist trait and or I guess what they'll call a nihilist trait or whatever. They think that all people are bad or whatsoever. So they'll gather that they'll not trust anybody. And it's not even to the point that okay they're gonna even complain anymore. It's that sometimes a person's spirit, when you see them, they just don't talk or anything like that. You know that it's gonna be some trouble. So.
Jojo, your thoughts?
Sorry, rephrase the question again. I actually had to attend to something really quickly. So,
Okay, I was just giving an example of a toxic trait, which is negativity. A person whose negativity may see the world as cold, cruel, and evil. They may frequently complain, ruin the fun, or dampen people's spirits with defeatist comments and actions.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much ties a lot of the tactics they employ, though, along with like the intimidation tactics or other tactics and strategies they use just to take control, because they prioritize power and control, and they will try to do that by whatever means. Because in that chapter, did you see how it says that they really want you to acquiesce to their demands?
Mm-hmm.
Ties into that. It's all about their need to have others acquiesce to their demands. But no, because I'm a grown man, and if another grown man is trying to do that to me, that's going to backfire.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I remember that there was an instance that there was a toxic individual that went up and was saying that you and I should not be friends. But
Oh yeah,
but
I remember
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Go on.
but it's like you're against me anyway, so why the heck I'm going to listen to you?
Not only that, but that woman is, not even that far from where you and Jose live, and I'm just like, what about organize like a meet and greet, a proposal that we were all, going to do in 2022? What happened to that proposal though? Because I'm still trying to come through with that, but I have to finish off my job first before I can travel anywhere at the moment, though. But I try to travel
All
as
right.
I can. But it's clear that you and Jose have already seen each other and met. Although I'm not friends with Vanguard, he still saw Afro and Monica. They saw each other. And now I'm next. Gonna see you, Gigi, Lady Marmalade, Jose,
Yeah.
and yeah, a few others still came around in the space still. But yes, I told even like a family member of kind of like what happened though here though when I guess the person told you and Jose to cut ties with me. Pretty much everybody just said, sounds like someone
Reality.
says toxic
No,
trait
but,
who's trying to
but
control.
I was not actually talking about that person. Like around the days when I was actually getting before I got doxxed and everything. I mean, I guess that person saw that you and I were friends. They was like, "Don't talk to that school shooter." I'm like, really?
What? Okay, sounds like toxicity though, because if
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you might
yeah.
not express it.
It's like to me is this: if you're gonna go against me and everything like that, and let's say me and you are friends, we talk nothing about. When we talk about like how our life going and how we all work walking in the path of whatever. But this, but if you're gonna go in and distinctly see that you comment on my live post sometimes, they're like, oh, this guy's not your friend or whatsoever. I'm like, but yet you're not either. So who cares? You know what I'm saying?
What is the problem is that you have certain individuals who would like to project, okay, for reasons only known to them. And sometimes I don't think they even know why they project. I mean, it does come across that you have a level of high insecurity on yourself if you have to resort to that type of activity.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like me personally, the way that I see it is that if a person don't want to be my friends, or if I see that there's a lot of funny actions coming on, you're not. And that's why the reasons, which I'm not going to actually say the content creator's name or anything like that. But after 2023, right? I ceased to actually go with this content creators panel. I actually unsubscribe from that person, and pretty much since certain stuff that has happened, and all the person does is bring toxicity, bring toxic people on their panel and everything. I decided like, hey, I don't want anything to do with you. So therefore, I'm just doing my own, and I've been happy ever since.
Hmm. I'll say this. Maybe by this week, I'll put out my Gmail address. All right. I'll put it out. I'm going to be, because we see that there are people on here put out their email addresses all the time in case somebody wants to get in contact.
Right.
So I'll put out my address, email address, or Gmail, and I will
Mm-hmm.
say, reach out to me if you like to settle somebody, no matter who you are, and we'll settle it maturely. I will not respond to nasty emails. Expect for it to get deleted, but maybe on my post, I'll put it out there. But I'll tell you this: maybe I'll do it tomorrow, but I doubt anybody's going to touch it. But I'll put it out there and test the waters,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm humble enough to settle it with even a person who has some serious grievances about me. But I doubt it. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we go to this. I mean, I came across an article where there's 30 examples of toxic traits. I'm not going to name all 30 because this would be like a 5 hour stream. And I'm not even going to try to make it that long. But
Yeah.
I will discuss some of the more serious traits. Another one being arrogance. A person who displays arrogance believes that they're more intelligent and more important than others. As such, they may treat others rudely or condescendingly. For example, an arrogant or selfish employee may refuse to listen to anyone else's idea and not willing to collaborate. Your thoughts?
I mean, that's half the people that I've dealt with as being a content creator, and the people who actually try to pin the lie on me, saying that I'm a fake Dominican or whatever, and then as soon as I guess I put my DNA results right there, it all became crickets. So that means that half the people that they're still gonna go and make a false narrative. I don't care because at the end of the day, that sometimes a person's arrogance will be their downfall, and I've learned that in the past.
Georgia, your thoughts?
Well, the Bible says that pride will not go before destruction, though, and somebody who's arrogant or everything that falls into pride. So, but even for people who feel as though like their person is not really suffering any real consequences or real natural consequences, believe you me, they're suffering though. Because if you look at all the darkness in their faces or like the dark hues in their eyes, that's just their souls getting tormented though, because they're getting thousands of demonic thoughts every single day. They know that they cannot get in, get things to get bended to their will. It drives them crazy. And then when they get older and older, we can see all sorts of things start to happen as a result of the arrogance or the narcissism, etc. So
Mm-hmm.
they actually are reaping what they sow, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then not only that, though, but they usually tend to stay single too.
Mm.
Have you noticed that?
Mm.
They're single?
Interesting. Yeah, because unless if we have a person, even if they get a person who's narcissistic or arrogance and stuff like that, they'll they would either they will either be single or they'll be how should I say they will not really be transparent with the other partners, and therefore there might be a lot of problems and such.
Yes, and this is what I would recommend to any person, though. Before you guys get married, seek premarital counseling, though, from a good, amazing counselor, though, because they will seriously cross-examine your heart. If you have a heart that's full of haughtiness and arrogance, you may want to reevaluate your heart and check yourself, because it's going to be one wild roller coaster if you haven't,
Mhm.
done anything about the arrogance in your heart
I, yeah,
or the toxicity.
I just want to acknowledge someone. Yeah.
What's
Okay,
up?
excuse me. I just want to acknowledge someone that's watching in Instagram. Shalom, hermana, que Dios te bendiga. Me alegro que están velando por la grabación por Instagram.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Algo,
Please continue.
algo más?
Yeah. Le mando saludo a toda mi gente en
You know
Instagram. Tú
what?
sabes.
Another see, another trait is aggression. Okay, aggression refers to the tendency to use force, intimidation, or hostility to assert dominance or control over others. Aggressive behavior can be manifest physically, verbally, or emotionally. It involves lashing out, threatening, or causing harm to others. Aggression creates fear, harm, and a sense of danger within a relationship. It damages trust, safety, and emotional well-being, making it nearly impossible to foster a healthy and nurturing connection.
Well, that's an interesting point, because that still ties into arrogance, because clearly you must think that you're all that and better than somebody else if you think that it's totally cool to employ aggression or physical tactics to get the person to submit to you. You must really it must be all of that, though, in order to carry out those terrible acts. But then again, a person like that still reaps, because a person like that, Jose, if you've noticed, is still single, because it's
Yes.
a huge red flag if somebody is like that towards others, because who's to say that they're not going to eventually snap on you today?
Exactly. And then if you really look at it, most partnerships of people who are of high arrogance and such, which I've seen also in the past 2 years with a lot of content creators, a lot of people who are arrogant and they're so hardy and everything like that. The next thing you know, you will see that they have like a big falling out or whatever have you, and then after a while, you'll be like, okay, certain people who are against you are actually beefing with themselves.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, you and your wife, for instance, are very, very humble, though. Humble, though. And I don't think that she would get with a man who was haughty and arrogant, though, or going around and puffing out his chest towards others, though, because I'm like, bad idea, because then she's going to start thinking that you'll do it to her someday if you have it in your heart to do it to other human beings.
I mean, I'm not gonna go around and say this. I wasn't the quintessential guy when me and my wife first came up. So it was like to the point that I was like in a bad space because of certain things that have happened in my life, and there was a lot of stuff that I had to grow out of. So so I could actually say that that I wasn't like how my father used to say like yo I wasn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can rest assured, Clara does not appreciate being around toxic people either.
Who? Say it again.
Clara,
Clara.
yeah, my lady.
Oh, yeah, Clara, your
Yeah.
girl.
I mean, this one thing that is funny, right? I mean, shout out to people who are married and that their significant others take care of don't take care of that toxic stuff. I mean, another toxic thing that I've been meaning to mention is when it comes to jealousy um of position. It could be of a low position. It could be of a high position. What I'm talking about is economic position. And it's funny how a person will actually talk down on a person or try to lessen their achievements in life and whatever. You have to watch out
Hmm.
for people who like that. Like, for example, you could go on and say, okay, I achieved something in my life, right? But then, okay, Dory, there's a person that will always try to say that your house ain't crap, this, that, and the third. They want to go around and do the most. And you could see that the reason that they're doing that is because of jealousy of who you are, jealousy of your values, jealousy of the people that love you. Sometimes people who are actually more jealous of you and it won't be of anything that you have done. They are jealous of the way of how people show love to you. I've seen that in the past too.
Yeah. Well, look, the reality is this: when there's certain people that they feel frustrated because they have not achieved what they hope they will achieve or aspire to achieve. So the only way they can feel comfortable is to try to put down people who have achieved some success, whether it be a homeowner or having a successful career or having a successful relationship or a marriage. Okay. Unfortunately, we have a lot of hurt people. And of course, hurt people hurt people. And we see that here within our respected lives that we have certain individuals that are jealous because they have not no, they have not achieved what we have achieved. And the only way that they can feel good is by trying to tear other people's down.
Mm-hmm. Unhealed soul wounds and having unforgiveness in the heart.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, another toxic trait is called hostility. And this involves displaying consistent anger, aggression, or resentment towards others. Hostile individuals tend to be easily angered, quick to argue or insult others, and have difficulty managing their emotions. This toxic trait creates a tense and hostile environment that undermines open communication, emotional safety, and overall relationship satisfaction. It can lead to a cycle of conflict, hurtful behavior, and damaged trust.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you pretty much hit it on the nail, Don Jose.
Well, I mean, look, we can see that in the behavior of certain individuals in our lives that they love to project things that are not true.
I mean, let's just take it in the cases of me and Jojo, right? I mean, me personally, you know, me and Jojo prior to YouTube, we actually met like in a debate chat, right? So basically, I was just the guy that that trolled on people, but at the same time, I wasn't I ain't gonna go around and say I wasn't. I'm just gonna say I was just having fun with it, right? And then when I was actually speaking on Radical TV on Radical Latinos channel, then he was like, "Oh shoot, that's the same guy from Telegram." I was like, "What?"
Oh
I,
yeah, I remember that from 2022.
yeah, because it was
Yeah,
like
Nora's group. Yep.
yeah, because it was like I'm I was just there because most of the times if I've talked, I was trolling, making fun because in Noah's group I never really took anything serious. I said a lot of wild stuff that I didn't really mean. So it was just that it was a fun group because like okay, you see a lot of people who are disgruntled, right? So therefore, what do? You make a joke or something like that, and that's what that joint was. Or whenever I talk to other individuals, I want to see where their heads was at.
I
And
remember that. Yes, and that was Nora's group, and yeah, I'm not in that group anymore. I haven't not been in that group at all since I met you in there, because clearly after just reforming, though, those groups had to get off of my phone. And I'm only
yeah,
communicating with one guy on there too, by the way.
mm, I
One
mean,
guy who is already like reformed, though.
yeah. I mean, even though right there, it's like certain people they still have. It's like okay, like in that group now, right? It's like the people who are like how should I say? They're the strong Muslims, and then you have certain people who are of strong Christian beliefs also. And then you got certain people that that they don't know which path that they're really gonna go to. So I guess they're on the agnostic side. So therefore people minus the cursing, they actually be having staunch religious debates to see who's that person and what that person really stands for at the end of the day.
I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with having a healthy debate as long as both parties are able to engage with a certain level of maturity. The problem is we
Exactly.
see that there are people who are unable to do that.
Yeah, but and at the end of the day, you will actually see that if a person cannot really handle a debate, maybe they don't have strong debating skills, which is most of us at some time. But then you have certain people that they're like, oh yeah, you can't debate. And they'll be like, and this is where arrogance sometimes come into, oh, you can't debate or anything like that. I'm like, okay, if you actually look at the good debates, I'm talking about from the 1960s till maybe 2008, right?
Mhm.
You would see that people that they actually had debates and there was nothing personal or mudslinging that was actually put on. But now, since we actually have a play of words, there was like, okay, this person slammed this or bammed this or anything like that. If you actually listen to media, I'm not gonna say that I'm well versed in American media from the 1960s and stuff, but I was pretty sure whenever I read in the newspaper when they actually were talking about debate, you didn't hear about people getting slammed and bammed and everything like that. Using phrases that you actually would see in wrestling when there's actually a debate of two people who actually have opposing views.
Generally, I don't debate that much because realistically, I don't think I have the skills to do the debate. Now, the last time I did something somewhat like a debate was actually on this platform about 2 years ago with our friend Denise. Okay. And basically, her argument was that the pandemic was over. And my argument was it was not. And we both presented our evidence to justify our positions. In the end, I have to admit, and I was humbled to admit, that Denise made a more valid point than I did.
That's humble.
Mhm. But not everyone is at that stage that they can acknowledge where someone did a better job debating.
True, but at least like you and like Denise were very civil about it, though.
Yes,
Very civil.
and basically we just debated from stating the same sources that we both gathered. It's just that it was different. It was the interpretation of the data provided.
Mm. Yeah, go on.
Okay. And one thing I will say about Denise, she's very good in engaging in debates. She does it very well.
Yeah, I do give her credit for that.
Yeah.
I do know that she's been busy a lot though, because I haven't seen her pop around here that often.
Yeah, she has been very busy. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to share in what, but she's been busy.
Yeah, that's that I was able to tell because she would regularly pop into your stream too.
Yeah. And actually, we have had some humorous moments here, not only here on this platform, but on the Intro Borica's platform, and to some extent on Denise's platform as well.
Yep, I do appreciate Ramon. Even Ramon has a lot of great stuff to say too. But as
Yeah.
well, we're not going to actually mention it on here though. But you already know what we were telling Ramon, that hey, at some point he's going to be next. If you know what I mean.
Wait
Yeah,
a minute. Wait a minute.
You know.
Next to what?
Oh well.
we're gonna have to discuss it in the backstage, or we're gonna have to discuss it in Discord.
Yeah,
I know.
I think discussing in Discord is good because
Well,
the thing is though, it's like okay, I've heard that there was like a little disagreement between Denise and and Ramon, but I didn't really pay attention to it because I was, as you know, I've been overhauling on my side, trying to do my shows or whatever. So
yeah, that's true. Though, but
Yeah.
it was nothing to do with that, though. It was something else, though. But we'll tell you on a Discord and about why, unfortunately, Ramon's going to be next.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I
But
wish
Jose
we could
already knows.
say. I wish I could say that's not going to be the case, but considering um, how some people function, it wouldn't be a big surprise.
mm, yeah, pretty much.
Look in the private chat.
All right. I mean, I know that, and me personally, the reason why I'm saying this is because think about it. When the person gets tired, right, of getting a no response, they're trying to get every response out of the world and stuff. They're gonna go and try to target people that you know. So it doesn't really surprise me. The thing is though that what I think is going to how it's going to play out It's not gonna play out how certain people may think it's going to play out, because at the end of the day, like every time you see certain people try to go at one or two or three just because of the personal stuff, it's to the point that when you see certain people unite, it's going to be one thing. Nobody's afraid of you, and
Right.
even if a person's going to go around and do all their tactics and everything like that, I'm going to be honest. People that want to go around and try to weaponize law enforcement against a person just because their feelings got hurt, you ain't you ain't on making you ain't making nothing. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't putting fear in nobody's heart. I'm from the Bronx, and the stuff that I lived through, yeah, you can't go around and tell people, oh, this, that, and the third. So therefore, if a person is gonna go around and use the threats of law enforcement, put your whole info and everything like that, guess what? 9 times out of 10, everybody knows that people that do that, they will never go around and meet you in person, and that's a known fact. So therefore, you can't go around and be fear of people who they try to live off of fear. But when they see certain people that are like, you ain't doing nothing, guess what? What the heck are you actually going to do? Nothing, and that's it. I got. We all three men got God on our side. Who the heck could be against us? And that's the way I'm looking at it.
No weapon formed against you prosper.
Will prosper.
hmm
Well, look, I've been here these YouTube streets for over 3 years. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty much known to everybody how I function. So, I mean, people can say whatever fluff they wish. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
the
already
only
know,
ones
man.
that
You're
might,
having a lot of heat. And, I'm
I'm
really
sorry,
glad
go
that
ahead.
I'm glad that Dawn is here though, because that Dawn, Dawn already knows that at a certain point though, like he's going to be the co-mediator on my platform, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
But yeah, I know what we're talking about. But the thing is, though, as
Toxic.
you know, I'm just saying, as far as what me, you, and Jose actually talk about that. It's not like I'm just saying the projection and everything like that. It's not going to go down until at least like 5 years.
5 years.
And yeah,
So
the reason why the reason why I say that is because you have certain parties who are, I'm not going to go mention their names or anything like that. But what we talked about, like in the Discord, because what you and me and Don Jose talk about, that the person that where we will have mediate and everything like that, their
Mhm.
sole focus is not even about mediating on this. Their sole purpose is just for the betterment of their selves, and what else we have talked about in the past. So which I'm not going to go around and put the dealings on. So it looked like that. I'm just saying the projection of what this thing is going to happen is going to be like around 5 years. So
Yep.
therefore, I guess if 5 years might happen and everything like that, there might be a time that a person might be mediating, but I don't actually see that happening now.
God, not even on my channel though, because Jose knows what's up though, and it's not going to be on here. It's all going to be on my channel. My channel. I'm the main monitor, and you're the co-mediator, and that's just where I'm doing the talking, and everybody's seeking closure though. But you feel it may not happen until 2030 because that'll truly resolve the toxic situation just to stay relevant to the topic.
Yeah, but I'm just saying because of the time, because certain stuff that might be happening and such is not going to be is not going to really be televised or talk about, if you know what I'm saying. So it might be televised in the future, but the stuff that that certain people are actually going on is not gonna. They're actually focused on that aspect. So therefore they're not even focused on okay the social media aspect. So they're just trying to do what they got to do,
Hmm.
and then when that's done, I guess they'll come back to social media.
Yeah, even though this is YouTube back.
Yeah, but they ain't focusing on that. So
Got it.
it is what it is.
Understood. All right.
Yeah, I'm about to go. I'm about to go to bed. So
Well,
What's
okay.
up?
Well, thank you for stopping by, Don Armando. I mean, look,
anything.
I think I made myself perfectly clear regarding the whole situation. I'll be willing to listen to what we said, but you can rest assured if it gets way out of line, I will vacate.
Understood.
Yeah,
But it'll go very well when I guess the 5 year mark is up.
yeah,
It'll go very, very well. And I'll talk to him saying that this is it. And if you really are who you say you are, then you would also seek closure on a mature level.
right.
And I can't wait for it to happen. It's all good because patience is a virtue. So,
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's true. But
you won't be flipping out on the platform. It'll be
Yeah,
like I said before, I will listen. I will be cordial. If it gets out of line, I will vacate.
yeah,
understood. Deal.
yeah.
Because I am not going to engage in any negative activity. Okay. Uh, I do believe he needs to take accountability for his actions. I understand what's his current mental state, but that does not excuse the fact that he needs to be accountable for his
All right.
And when at a good time, I'll let him know it's that, hey, accountability needs to be taken due to wrongful allegations of you being racist. Because that was a toxic allegation.
Yeah, but you know, we're not really gonna go around and talk about it because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's actually going to be in motion that you, me, and Georgia are just gonna sit back and pop the popcorn. That's all I'm gonna
actions.
say. So
Yeah.
I'll catch y'all later.
All right. Take
Take
care. Have
care.
a good night.
You too.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share another toxic trait, which is quick to anger. A person who's quick to anger may become upset due to a trigger that will offend most people. For example, a colleague may get angry quickly and struggle to calm themselves down. Down. Your thoughts?
Ties into impulsivity from the chapter
Yes.
I read in avoiding people who lack impulse control.
Yes.
Hmm. Very quick to anger, very quick to wrath, getting very emotionally driven, not thinking before you do. Yeah, all ties into somebody else's low impulse control. But then that's where that book, right? The book that I read from the chapter, it did say that, well, people with an impulsivity issue are being so quick to anger, they're filling up the prisons.
Uh-huh.
Or they're doing stuff that cannot really be erased. There you go.
Yeah. Speaking about that, I heard of a story in TikTok um, when a married woman, for reasons that I do not know, that I do not understand, decided out of left field to say to her husband that she wanted a divorce and that she did this just as a whim to try to get his reaction to what it would be. The husband ended up divorcing the woman.
Interesting. Like decided to test his boundaries, huh?
Yes,
And look at where that got her.
exactly. Because,
Disrespect. Hmm.
yeah, well, unfortunately, there seems to be a lack of respect in some marriages. Um, some of them thanks to the women, and some thanks to the men. So we got because we do got to keep it completely honest. Men and women can be toxic.
Oh, of course.
And what I find completely odd that most of the divorces are initiated by women,
Yep.
and then after they've been through out in the dating market and been through, how can I say this without being too X-rated, that they have known in the biblical sense too many people and they gotten dumped after engaging in adult activity. All of a sudden, the ex-husband starts to look good.
Interesting. Oh, oh wow, Jose. Gosh, I wish I could stay for a little longer though, but it looks like I got to step down now. But
Okay, well, thank you very much for stopping by. And
yeah, what I could say on that final note is that in relationships, have a person who is not toxic and a person who actually respects you. And going back to like what we were talking about regarding maybe a person whose heart is full of arrogance or likes to puff out the chest all the time and everything though is,
mhm,
person just needs to really get that checked though, because it can explain why they're still single.
yes,
Because having a lot of arrogance in the heart is a very toxic trait. And a person like that is not going to be marriage material until they repent from that.
yes, yes.
So
Would you?
purge your hearts of any of that kind of stuff so that you won't have to be somebody who is going to be dealing with a divorce.
Would you like to share the name of the book one more time for those who are just turning in?
What the Bible says about difficult people.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for stopping by.
What are you
Of
going to
course, you're
do?
always welcome here on this platform.
Likewise. What are you about to do?
Well, I'm just going to share a couple more points, and then after that, I'm gonna end the stream because usually I try to keep it under 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, we're already at an hour and 24 minutes. How many people are watching now?
Currently, 4.
All right. Okie dokie. You have a good day.
All right. Good night. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share two more toxic traits, and then after that, I'll call that an evening. Let me just check and see who is. Okay. I lack an empathy for others. A person who lacks empathy for others may struggle to understand other people's feelings and thoughts. For example, a leader that lacks empathy may not notice that one of their employees is struggling to complete work because they are tired. That's another problem with toxic people is the inability to have an empathy towards others and empathy that the fact that their actions are harmful to others. And I'm just going to share one more, which is self-centeredness. A person who displays self-centeredness may focus on their wants over other person's needs. For example, a self-centered friend may refuse to comfort another friend because they rather do something else. So basically, it's the inability to focus on the needs of others. Now, there are other toxic traits, but I'm not going to list them all. But I will say this if you find yourself exhibiting these toxic traits, I would humbly suggest that you um, take a time for some self reflection and also maybe you might need to see um, some professional help. Now, contrary to what people may think, there is no shame in seeking counseling. Okay. The only shame is when there is a problem and you're not prepared and you're not willing to face it and take accountability for your actions. Okay. But the good news is you can start today. You can learn to not show toxic traits. You can learn to be a better version of yourself. It is going to be easy in the beginning? No. But in time, you will succeed. And that's something that we all need to bear in mind. So, with that, with that being said, uh, I will begin to wrap this up. Okay. And actually, I'm kind of happy that it got some activity because sometimes Sunday night streams don't always do well, but it's something that I needed to discuss. Now, on Tuesday, I will be sharing with you the meaning behind light. So I'm going to give you some principles. I'm going to give you some definitions, and I will suggest that if you're going to observe Lent, and I see here we have another guest. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing? I know that I'm late, but
It's okay.
yeah,
Um,
I was about to click, and you said I'm about to wrap up. Let me click it. So I'll just come on up for a minute, and that will be it. But I'm not gonna keep interrupting.
so, what's your thoughts regarding the topic?
Hi, you know what? By now, because the word toxic gets thrown around so much, I don't even know what it is anymore. I really don't. I really don't. Because sometimes it could be seen as toxic just having a disagreement, just seeing things and standing strong in a point of view. It can be seen as toxic. It's like it gets redefined all the time. Now, I do believe that the people that are impossible, people that might be people that gaslight a lot or that troll a lot, that could be seen as toxic because nothing good can come out of it. It's always kind of like a lot of negative energy that comes out of it. It's kind of like the energy about it. So that's what I will associate with being toxic. People that are confrontational, people that need to argue a lot, people that that can cause stress to the people around them. That's what I would refer to as being toxic, and that's the type of people that it's just best to stay away from. So that's kind of how I see it. But like I'm saying, it gets thrown around so much that it we will have to remember what exactly is it supposed to mean.
Yeah. That's the reason why that's the reason why I started giving the definition of what is toxic behavior. And let me just state it again. It is harmful and manipulative, and it involve actions like bullying, name calling, gaslighting, and dishonesty. Toxic behavior can occur in relationships, in the workplace, and other settings. That's why I started with that definition.
Okay, okay, yeah. I don't think I deviated too far from it. It's just nothing good, nothing positive, nothing that can contribute to harmony. It's always something conflictive and
Yes.
contentious and like
Yeah.
stressful, that type of thing.
Yeah. Well, right now it's kind of cool outside. The temperature outside is 22 degrees.
Ugh, freezing. Oh, you're freezing up there. I mean, thankfully, since spring is coming around, down here temperatures are going up. It's warming up as it should. Unfortunately, tonight, uh, the temperature did cool down some because of rain, because it was raining earlier. But I don't think it's gonna get too bad. It might go down to the 50s, and I guess I can handle it. And after that, it might go as high as 92 degrees. I think.
Yeah.
So that is great. That I'm looking forward to it. What's up, Irving?
Well,
What's going
this morning when I got up, it was a delightful light winterish 19 degrees.
on? Oh, oof, oh, you're freezing. Oh, you're in the meat locker.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. You're in the cold ass environment. At least down here is kind of like a 70 degrees or something like that. I don't know. That's how it was in the morning. It was like a little below
I
7.
mean,
Right now it's a little cooler.
I mean,
Mhm.
we haven't had a cold winter day this year at all.
Uh-huh. So you say.
No.
That's what you're
But
saying.
remember, my definition of winter is a little different.
Uh-huh. I know. I mean, you need to go to Siberia or something. You need to get yourself a woman from there.
I mean,
Siberia.
could you imagine if I could bring New York weather to Texas?
Oh, stop! Don't start with that. That's a nightmare. That's a nightmare for somebody like me. Couldn't do it.
I mean, come on now. You're not afraid of a little chilly weather now, aren't you?
I'm afraid of getting sick. That that meat locker weather that you like so much, it will make me sick. I couldn't do it.
Well, look,
Yeah.
people don't get sick because it's cold. People get sick because the germs are out there.
Yeah, people can get sick because of the cold, but cold is not for human beings. I mean, we don't have cold blood. I mean, like crocs or alligators or something. No.
I mean,
These
look at me.
temperatures.
I mean,
We
look
don't
at me.
have- Mhm.
I mean, look at me. I don't get sick in the wintertime.
Uh-huh.
I mean, look at me. I don't get sick in the wintertime. I mean, look at me. I don't get sick because the germs are out there. I mean, look at me. I mean, look at me. I don't get sick in the wintertime. I mean, look at me. I don't get sick because the
Well, not you, because you're a special, you're a special case. That's why I called you Mr. Freeze, because that's your thing. But you're the exception don't make the rule. And too much cold that can be harmful.
Well,
That's not a good
I
thing.
mean, have you have to deal with toxic people in your time?
Hell yeah. I have to deal with it a little bit in my own family. I also remember somebody that I dated, but that was years ago. That was also toxic, and she will be too much into drama, and she could be very stressful. So I guess she would fit the description. That was a long time ago. So I have
Okay.
dealt with that. I have dealt with that, and I'm dealing. I've been dealing with that for over a year in my own family. So yeah, but just have this perverse satisfaction by being difficult. You know, people that just want to be difficult because it's entertaining to them. Seeing other people being stressed out.
Are you using a mic or something?
Do I what?
Are you using a new microphone?
Um, well, maybe for some time I haven't been using exactly the same one as usual. What is it? Do you have any problem?
Okay, it sounds muffled, but I can hear you.
Sounds muffled.
But I can hear you. So
No, okay. It could be a problem.
mhm. Yeah. Well, look, the reason why I decided to discuss avoiding toxic people because that's something unfortunately we all have to deal with from time to time. We all have to deal with people who get toxic, but like everything else, I like to give a clear definition because unfortunately we're living at an age that people can take anything and they twist the meaning behind certain words.
Right. How can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
It sounds a little better.
Okay. Okay. I might need to check my setup because I do mess with it. I tinker with it. Um. Yeah. 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 Um. That's something to be to be taken care of. That needs to be. Yeah. I mean, people. People. it's not it's not something that can be dealt with so easily, uh, especially in the times that we live in, whether it is on the personal level or whether it is in society, with all the mess that is going on.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, yeah.
But on a happier note, I loaded a video on TikTok that's gotten over 4,000 views.
Okay, good. Is it one of your shorts?
Yes.
I need to make shorts again. I need to make shorts. I know that shorts work better for me. I can get several hundred views, but I have to do more. It's just that I haven't done any in a while. But yeah, yeah, shorts are can be useful. Hmm.
Yeah, and it could be hard when you have other content creators that coming on live. Like for example, uh, tomorrow Donna Mondo will do a stream, and I think Denise is planning to do another stream as well. So,
Yeah. Okay.
and you know what happens when other content creators go live.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have some of the same audience members, so somebody might end up being left behind. So I don't know. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it so much like today, but I did thought about about doing a little something myself, but I knew that you were gonna be doing your thing. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Let's see if I do something on Tuesday then.
Well, I'm going to be going live on Tuesday.
That's the thing. All of you guys. So I'll try to be early then. I guess that's what I can do.
Yeah, but I will say this much, that so far I have 527 subs on my main channel.
That's good. That's good. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, but anything else you like to share when it comes to avoiding toxic people?
It, definitely that's the key word there. Avoiding, because you can't change others. Especially when when they're already grown adults, because you can help mold a child, but once the child is not a child anymore and it's an adult, they're gonna be the way they're gonna be unless they choose themselves to make changes. Um, so there is not much that you can do aside from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I'm going to start to wrap it up. Are you able to stay for a couple moments in the backstage, or
Oh,
you in a hurry?
I can hang on. I can hang out for a little bit.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So now we're going to take closing remarks. So now we're going to hear from the person who wants to go to a Buffalo Bills game in the middle of a snowstorm with the temperature at 10 below in his birthday suit. Who wants to
Oh,
go who wants to
special
go to
number.
who wants to
Special
go to
number.
Orchard Beach on New Year's Day and be
No.
a part of the Latino Polar Bear Club, who don't think that New York has a serious rat problem. Okay, that think Orchard Beach is the most beautiful beach in the entire world. The introvert Boricua.
Uh-huh. Right. You keep saying that I wanna be in that cold ass weather. No thanks. No thanks. Let it warm up. Let spring start warm things up. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But Jose, I will say that I appreciate you letting me be on your panel. I know that I came up late. It's just that I was distracted with some other things. But yeah. I mean, that's basically what I wanted to say. I mean, not much that you can do. People can be toxic. People can be difficult, and the best thing that you can do is avoiding them, avoiding the behavior, and avoid the people if necessary. Because that's really all you can do. You can't change people. It doesn't really work like that. And that's all I got on that. But thank you for letting
Okay.
me be on your panel.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And of course, I'm going to ask, if you have not done so, please check out the Itchwood Boricua and check out his content and subscribe to his channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in the backstage. Okay, so don't go away.
Sure thing.
Okay. So now I'm going to give you my final thoughts. I think it was a pretty good swing, and I wanted to discuss in an intelligent way how to deal with toxic behavior. So of course we have to give clear understanding what it is, which we did. So the best thing you could do is try to, if you have to deal with them, just limit your involvement and just keep it um, as minimal as possible. So I'm going to be live on Tuesday talking about Lent, what it is and what it's not. So of course, play back in, please do your thing. And of course, I'm going to close the same way that we always close. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by the stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron saying good night, take care, and peace.